Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from Bear at McLean's RV. This is the new 2024 KZ Connect 312 BRK, one of the newest floor plans. I personally think it is the couple's coach of your dreams for the grandparents or those who want the occasional visitor, or man, if you're like me and you want a bunch of storage, we are sitting at one of the best RVs. I'm starting up front because I really like to show on all of the KZ Connects. This is something cool that they've been doing. KZ's been around for 52 years. If you don't know them, you got to look into this. But the Connect line specifically, what I love, right behind me you can see, we're standing in front of it. You have a fully painted fiberglass front cap with an automotive windshield. They keep that rock guard nice and down here below us, protect you from when you're driving down the road, but giving you that automotive glass. It's going to be an awesome feature. When we go inside, I'll show you kind of how you can see it from the bedroom. I love this. It's bringing the daytime and the nighttime into your room, gives you that more natural light, and it gives you still a really good quality on your front end. So we're going to walk around. Come see this thing, all right? So the 312 BRK, you're talking about box length of 31, 32 feet with a total length of about 37. We'll put the specs up on the screen, but it weighs about 7,500 pounds. Now, some of you are like, wow, that's really light for a long RV, and you're not wrong. So what KZ does when they use their side panels, they use Azdel panels right on the side wall. What that means for you is it's lighter weight. It's man-made where it's never going to mold or mildew. We can talk more about it in another video, but Azdel panels are great, and it's the main reason why you're keeping your weight so low on such a large RV. I do want to pass up on this pass-through. So you got motion sensor lighting, it's fully finished out, and you do have it prepped for tire pressure monitoring and solar. We can add that at the dealer level, or there is a package available ordered from the factory. Again, nice thing that KZ does is you got your heated pass-through, but they also do a full inch on their actual doors for the compartments. That's going to give you a little bit more insulation, again, with those Azdel panels. Half their competitors are only going to do ½ inch. So when you're wondering, hey, when we're looking at that mid, just a little over entry level, what makes the KZ better than maybe some of its competitors I won't name? Think better insulation values, thicker walls, Azdel panels. In fact, on the insulation value, it's hard to see below me, but underbellies on these are actually going to be heated, insulated, and they actually have it forced air into it. So you're getting a great insulation value. You know, you'll hear climate package from a lot of manufacturers, but you're like, what does that mean? Not everyone's the same. KZ's going to give you that fully enclosed underbelly. It's heated and it's insulated, okay? All the other things I like to talk about on the outside is they have not gone cheap. When you come to the Connect line, you're getting solid steps, right? So whether you are less capable of moving, maybe you've had a few too many adult beverages, or maybe you just want that stability, the solid steps are going to give you a better entry into it. You're getting now on the screen door. You see this here, you can't tell much in the video, but this is what they call the screen defender. It doesn't seem like much, but most people, when you get a screen, it's just going to be this. This is cheap, easy to break if a dog's nails are scratching on it. So if you do have a pet, this might not seem like much, but it could be like $400 in the parts and accessories. And this screen defender is stronger. It's going to protect you against those little dog nails and stuff. Again, I always tell people, if you've got a confident enough animal, this isn't going to be enough. Nothing ever would be, right? Motivation can outdo anything. But this is an awesome little feature, and you can see this one as it sits here from the factory is 77.80 on its weight. That's really nice. You can see it has a higher hitch weight, so I do recommend that you get sway bars. Again, McLean's, we're a full service dealer. We've got parts, service, and accessories. We can put those sway bars on your RV to help disperse that weight instead of it going all straight on the hitch between your rear axle of your truck and your front axle of the RV. Speaking of the axles, great thing, they've upgraded your suspension to the EcoFlex. Not only that, but they're giving you Goodyear endurance tires. That's kind of the golden standard in the industry right now, and they're also pairing that with Lion's Head 125 lifetime warranty. What that really means in English. So 125, I'm really going to talk about the 1 and the 5. We've talked about this in other videos, but it's 1 year bumper to bumper on your tires of no questions asked, no excuses guaranteed, and 5 years warranted on those tires. Call me again, number down below, and we'll give you more information if you want to learn more about that. Another cool thing Connects are doing, KZ was really big on, if you were in a couple's camper, you almost never see the outdoor kitchen. So yes, you still get your fridge for outside, which is great when you're at the campsite, but I love that they give you this griddle. I mean, you look at this thing, and the cool thing with the griddle, right, is it comes with a quick connect hose going to your main propane line. What that means in English for you is, say you don't want to use a griddle, you want to use your own Blackstone, a grill of your choice. It doesn't matter. You can take the quick connect hose, attach it to the propane line, and you can use any grill or the griddle that's built in. If you look above us, you'll see the LED lights are on. Obviously, it's not dark out right now, but I love that they give you a full, almost the length of the entire RV, getting that awning coverage with the light at nighttime. And you do still get, you're going to see a lot of manufacturers are starting to move away from the outdoor speakers. KZ is not taking those out of here yet. You're going to get roof mounted inside and outdoor speakers as well. Those are Bluetooth ready. They got the radio to go. If you want to blast it, you can enjoy it at your campsite as long as you're respectful. You got a little mounter here, which is great for either flagpoles or if you do want to get an outside TV mount accessory. They make some that are on Amazon that go with this. And they do give you, in addition to the fact that you're always going to get a power tongue jack, KZ's gone ahead and took it to the next level, giving you a true electric stabilizer. So you've got one for the front and one for the rear. Easy switch, so no more cranking and no more worrying about remembering to bring that power drill. Usually in RVs, people don't like to talk about the furnace or the water heater too much, but what I do like to point out, all KZ Connects now are coming, not just this line, but with the Fugatti, which is going to be the tankless water heater. Now I will say down the line, sometimes there's changes on what brand they use. I like the Fugatti, it's a great one. We can talk more about that in another video. But regardless of what brand they're going to be using, it is going to come standard with that tankless water heater. Other things, again, talking about what makes KZ a little bit different than some of its competitors that might be at a slightly lower price point. You want to know what you're paying a little bit more for. Like I said, I personally think you're going to get a great price on this. McLean's, in fact, has some pre-negotiated fair market values on these. Call me and we can get you transparent pricing today. But why you pay a little bit more maybe than some of the lower end manufacturers is KZ went ahead, and this is a fully laminated rear wall. When you go to some of your lower end manufacturers, it's not going to be fully laminated, and it might not even be fully framed. It might be a hung wall. So having this fully laminated wall from KZ, I mean, I can hit it real hard and you know that, hey, that's a stronger wall, better structural for me. In fact, they've already installed a roof mounted ladder so you can get all the way up. Like I said, it's a lifetime warranty on the roof's membrane and you can fully walk that. I personally don't ever recommend walking on an RV roof if you're not a technician and don't know what you're doing. But for those who want to, whether it's for maintenance purposes or, again, whatever you choose, that walkable roof is fully all front to back. And I mean, we're talking a big RV. You got plenty of real estate up there. Again, also for if you wanted to upgrade to an off-grid package and get more solar. Another nice thing to note, they did go ahead and do a full-size spare tire. I'm not going to walk around the whole rear here, but you can see you've got 50 amp service. It's going to have two fully ducted ACs, a 15K in the living room and another one in the bedroom. You've got another air conditioner. You do get some exterior storage under one of your slides. You'll notice you have two on this. As well as up front, you're just going to see the other end of that pass through. All of theirs do also come, one thing I love, with that battery disconnect for when you are going camping. You can turn that on. When you're putting it in storage, you can turn it off to save your batteries. But let's go inside. All right, before we go inside, I just wanted to note one more time. New to 2024, you got that fully glass door. What you do see though is when I open it, notice that the glass is full on the exterior, but they're still giving you that insulation. You do have your wall paneling on the interior with a thin shade ready door. Thin shades, if you're not familiar with it, is an option to clean up that window and be able to cover it with a window shade. I personally, again, don't think they're necessary because the windows are tinted, but if you want that next level of privacy, we can install that here at the dealership. Little cost to you, and we'll make it happen. Come on inside though. This is where the show really starts. So, the 312, my favorite thing about this, like I told you when we were outside, is this is a really good extended couples coach that still gives you the ability to either sleep others, use it as a bunkhouse, but no other bunkhouse I've ever seen has a living room like this, right? So typically if you have a model with bunks, your living room's kind of split up, or you got bunks in the corner, or maybe you have to have a whole extra separate room. KZ did a really good job of giving you this lovely open space. There's so much good to talk about, and we're just going to jump into it. First thing, going to the living room aspect of it, right? So one thing to note, if you look at the slide, they went ahead and there's no carpet, but not only that, their main slides are always going to be what I call flush slides. What that means in English to you is when they push them out, they sit flush with it. There's no what I'd call toe kicker or extra kind of lip up, and there's no carpet on this slide. That's always standard in the Connect's main slides. Now, the recliners. Thomas Paine, everyone knows them, everyone loves them. They've gone through a lot of upgrades in the last couple of years on the materials themselves. You've got the recliners, they can fully kick back, but we're pushed up against the wall right now, so when you want to do like a further recliner, you just pull this out a little bit, and they're heavy enough when you're on the road and driving, they're not going to move, so you kind of leave it where you personally like it, preference-wise. I love, though, you got cup holders for both people, but look at all the charging, right? So you have USB, you've got 110, you actually, even on your armrest, have another USB plug right next to your heat and massage. Now, I do like to always remind people, the massage chairs in these, it's a vibrate pattern, so it's nice and cozy, and it will change how it vibrates, but it doesn't have rollers in it, so don't get that confused. All right? To my right here, you're going to see we do have the booth dinette. Now, again, things that make KZ a little better than others, right? Almost every time you go into an RV, people are going to talk about, does it have storage under the dinette? And the answer is usually yes. But typically, when you're in an RV, to get into the storage, you're going to have to lift this up, maybe pull out the wood, get into it to find it. Now, some of them will have the doors at the front of the dinette like KZ does, but almost no one else does this. I love this. It's silly, but it's one of my favorite things. They go ahead and they already have a true fit full tub built in that does this. Now, some people are like, well, why don't they do drawers? So if you do drawers, you actually can't utilize the whole space and you have to use rails, so it tightens it. This gives you a true way to access your entire storage under the dinette where you can easily pull it in and out. And they built that in for you. And honestly, I know it doesn't seem like much, but for those who have had RVs before, pre-selected abilities to use your storage is just such a blessing. Now, other cool things in the 2024s, you'll see when we go looking back at this slide, right? So in the entire slide, you're just covered in windows. You've got rear windows. But nice thing that KZ is doing on the Connect level is you're going to get the roller shades. They're blackout shades, right? So if it's super hot out and you want to close that off so you're not getting blasted with the sun, if you want privacy, or if you just want to make it nice and dark in here and want to have a movie night, you're good to go. You've got these blackout roller shades. The only shade they're not going to do it on in the living room ever is the kitchen, and that comes down to fire hazards. There's reasons for it, okay? Now, wow, this kitchen, I'm just going to let y'all take a look at this. It is so expansive. Remember, we're in a bunk model. It has a bunk room available, but again, there's a reason I say it's for a couples coach. We'll get back to it. But this kitchen is so expansive in the fact that it's going to give you more kitchen space than you typically get in a model that even has an island, right? So part of keeping that weight down, right, being this one as it sits 7,700 pounds, is that we didn't put another slide on the front. We saved your camping side of the RV for more space for you to be outside and enjoying yourself, but when you're inside, you're not lacking anything. In fact, I would argue that depending on what model you're looking at, this counter space is going to be more than what you would have had with an island. But the biggest benefit, right? Look at how big your storage is, okay? You know something people don't always think about? When you are looking at RVs, I know this sounds silly if you've never had one before, but if you're a camper, you understand why I am showing you that specific space, right? Trash cans. If you've got dogs in here, right, you have a little pet leash outside, that's awesome. You have the ability for so many storage spaces. You even have a potential dog bed we're about to get to. But what dogs like to do is get into the trash. I don't know. I got crazy pets, maybe you don't. But if you're looking to have a place to hide a trash can, that is big enough to hide one. And if you don't need to hide your trash can and you want to put it outside, that's just a ton of storage, okay? So other cool thing, speaking of all these doors and cabinetry, right? They actually use painted hardwood on their cabinet doors. So when you go into some of those lower end manufacturers, this might be like particle board, this might be OSB. This is actually a painted hardwood on the door, right? Where the stuff's important, where the stuff could break, where the stuff's gonna get beat the most. It's true wood. Okay, that's an awesome feature in my opinion. You do have your gas oven as well as your 3 stove burners. Again, it's the gold standard Furions. Everyone knows it. I love that built-in backsplash. You can always put this down to make it kind of more counter space. Obviously don't do it when it's hot, and pay attention to how much weight you're putting on that, but you do also have a microwave. So standard microwave, because you have the gas oven, you're getting more storage in here. And then you do have, again folks, McLane's mostly carries brands that are moving into the higher end of the world. So even though this is one of the best price points, this is not a base level or what I would call a true entry level RV. I think you're basically skipping that lowest price point, going just a little bit higher, so you're at an entry price point but not an entry RV, and for that reason you're going to get this 12-volt fridge, right? So whether it's for a weekend or a week, this is fantastic. And that 12-volt technology, again, we're moving away from the gas electric fridges of the past, because all you need to make this cold is just to turn your battery on. So if it's in storage, you come out the day before, you can turn your battery on, it's going to get nice and cold. And if you're worried about, hey, well, what about the battery and what about the fridge when I'm driving down the road? This being a 12-volt fridge means that when you actually hook up your trucks, most trucks have a charge line, and again, we can add that if yours doesn't. And that's going to keep your battery cold, or well, it keeps your battery going and the fridge cold while you're driving down the road. All right. You do have your breaker and fuse panel box right below the fridge, and then of course on the other side of the living, you have a nice, good-sized TV, and then this is going to be the controls again for that inside version and for those outside speakers. It could get nice and loud if you want it to, and man, I love that they use the Jensen, because the Jensen can actually have pretty much any type of thing that you can think of to make sound, you can connect. You're going to have a DVD, CD style player, you've got USB, you've got aux cord, you have the actual radio antenna, and you have Bluetooth. I'm a big Spotify person, so I'll tell you right now, I would probably just use Spotify, but sound quality is great, and you can really blast that. Again, you can also control the inside and the outside on this panel, so you can do that whether you want to watch a movie in here and the radio outside, or if you want to blast them both together, you can. I always respect your neighbors, but I really love that. Another thing to talk about, right, they do have the fireplace. Now, we're not plugged in and we're not on real power. You would want to be to get this fully going, but the nice thing is, in this fireplace, I really love that you get the ability to use it for aesthetics or for heat. That is an electric heater, so during the kind of start to winter or kind of cold days, like we're in Texas, right? The weather yesterday, we were in like the 90s. Today we're in like the upper 60s. That's why I got my vest on. You could turn this heat on and you don't have to use your furnace. You don't have to use your propane. Now I will say it will only really heat up this area, but man, will it work. Now, another cool thing to note, in some other models and some other dealers, manufacturers, and floor plans, what you'll see a lot of times is the TV being in a weird location. This one I think is perfect because, again, from your recliners, you're facing straight to the TV. Now, I've talked about how this can be primarily used as a couples coach, and we're going to get into that a little further, but if you do want to be able to sleep more visitors, this is optional. They do have a trifold standard option, so not a jackknife, like a full-on trifold pull-out sofa as the other option if you do need more sleeping space. When we came in, we might have missed it, but if you thought your kitchen space was already huge, come over here, Rick. I want you to show them this. This is your massive pantry or extra storage room, right? You can use it as a mudroom, pantry, and then you'll see that box coming in a little bit, and why that is your outdoor kitchen is behind that. But you have plenty of room for storing shoes, coats, as well as using it as a pantry. Now, right above me, cool thing that KZ does that I really like. They have, again, I told you it's a 2 AC unit RV. This is a 50 amp camper. But what you'll notice is not only are they using the nicer Coleman ACs, but when you look up here, you can see the filter is actually more like a box filter at home. So for people who have allergies, things that they're worried about, you know, if you already have Asdel panels, which limits your off-gassing, and it's more of a green-friendly wall paneling, but now you have the ability, you could actually take this off pretty easily if I had a right tool or longer nails, and you can put in whatever kind of air filter you want. So if you want to go all the way up to like a HEPA air filter, you can upgrade that. And then the nice thing on these is these units both are their own intakes, right? But the coolest thing is KZ is authorized and licensed to use RV airflow. I won't get into it too much on what that means and the whole schematics. We could do a whole video on it too. But the very fast version is it's 40% more efficient than if it was the same RV without that piece in there. And it 40% more efficient means two things for you, right? It's going to get colder, and it's going to get cold faster than if it was the same RV without it. It's an insert inside the ductwork, and these are fully ducted ACs. So again, if you're out camping and you're worried about a big RV getting cool in the summer, you can't get much better than that. Okay, right behind me you see there is another door. If you're wondering what it is, I want you to check out just how massive this bathroom is. Something I haven't noted yet, but I want to talk about now. All of the connects are going to have an 82-inch ceiling, right? What that means in English for you is that's like 6'9" and then some. So if you're under 7 foot tall, you're not going to have to worry about the ceiling height. Again, folks, like I do in most of my videos, I'm 5'10" for reference, and I'm not even coming close to the normal ceiling. If you were like, say, 7 feet or over 6 foot, you do have the skylight as well to get you into it. Again, do want to mention this does come with the tankless water heater, so as long as you got propane, once it's hot, it's endless. And you do get the Nautilus door. Now, some people were nervous about this, right? Because it looks kind of flimsy. What's cool about this door is it's not as flimsy as it looks. I mean, I could full on punch it, but I don't want you to have to go through how loud that sounds. We could do it in another video. But when you close this door, and then when you go to open it, you see it auto retracts itself. Now, that flimsy film that you're thinking is too light is actually what they call, this took me like months to learn to say the word, a hydrophobic polymer. It is engineered in a way where it will never hold on to water, mold, or mildew, and on top of that, when it retracts the way it does, it squeegees itself. Okay? What that means in English, for me, as a lazy American, I'm proud to be one, is that I don't have to worry too much about cleaning my shower door. I don't have to worry about a moldy shower curtain. And I also don't have to worry about water because it fully closes it off. Okay? You get this little L-shaped thing, which we've talked about in some of my other bathrooms that I really enjoy. And even if you were a big old boy, you see you get plenty of leg room when you're sitting down. You've got storage under the sink. You've got a little in the vanity as well. And you've got your water heater controls in here. Huge though on this side is going to be that storage. It's nice and deep. Remember how tall I am. You see I can't even reach the back there. I would definitely be using totes on this as well. Super awesome. And so far I've shown you all of the things about this that make this a crazy awesome couples coach. But let's say, hey, I need more storage than a normal person. I might be doing extended stays, or maybe you want to have visitors, or maybe you want to work remote while you're in your RV. So that's where this floor plan gets unique, right? So what they've done, you see there's another TV here. This comes up, makes a desk, and you have the 2 stools that you can use for it. But the storage, Rick, you got to see this. We got to show them. This is one of my favorite things, and this is the ability where if you're grandparents and maybe you want to bring the grandkids with you, if you've got dogs that you love, or if you're like me and you want a ton of storage, right? You have 2 bunks here. As you can see, this one's got a 250-pound capacity. We can drop this down, but the nice thing is, right, I can sit here. I could still use that TV monitor as a desk, but this is a ton of storage space, right? You've got the drawers beneath, so you can really get in and access it. But if you have kids, if you have grandkids, if you want that space, this gives you the ability to have a bunk model where they have their own space. That could be their own TV if they're with you, but if they're not with you, this is great for storage, great ability to just have so much more things. One thing I did, we had a customer actually who wanted purely to use this for storage, and the bottom they're using as their dog bed. So this bunk is not hard to remove, and we can put a tension rod across or a curtain rod to allow you to use it as one of the longest closets in the world, right? My fiance loves her clothes, and even when we're camping, she probably packs, in my opinion, for a week. She packs for 2 months, and I know a few other ladies who do so as well. I know some guys who do too. And so if you want that giant closet space, you have that in this model. But I love because they put it on this small slide. It's out of the way when you're not using it, and it doesn't interfere with your walk space. Now, one thing I like to do too is these stools, because they're movable, you can take that over to your dinette, and if you have like more people playing card games and want to hang out, you're able to put that there, and you can have external seating around the dinette. Just before we go into the bedroom, I did want to also note So if you do have visitors, or if you do want even more storage, this is a great little extra space that they were able to carve out for you without really taking anything away from the RV. So love it. Extra storage. And again, keep in mind, tall ceilings, right? The only low part is going to be the door. So if you're over 6 foot, be used to that already. You're going to duck here. But let's go into the bedroom. I want to talk, before we even really walk in, there's something cool that KZ does standard on all of their Connects. It is a 70 by 80 king mattress, okay? 70 by 80, so it's not your true like residential king, but man, is it more than big enough for 2 people to really enjoy. If you do have those dogs who are going to join you, or maybe you have grandkids and one of them's a little younger and wants to hop in the bed with mom, dad, grandparents, this is about as big of a bed as you're going to get in a true travel trailer experience. Other things to note is now you can see why I really loved that automotive glass window, okay? You have that space, the ability to see the stars at night if you want to, but also you can note you have both reading and really bright lights, depending on what mode you put them in, on both sides, charging stations, and you do have those side cubbies. Again, great for things like water, cell phones, CPAP machines. You've got the room. Now, on both sides of the bed, you're going to get the same style closet. You got that hang rod, nice and really long. So even if you've got kind of longer outfits, you've got that. You do have lipped storage above the overhead. Now, I say lipped because that means it's got a little thing here to catch. So if you put totes or things up there, they're not going to fall. KZ was nice, right? In some of your low-end brands, you're not going to see a TV. Heck, in some of the high-end brands, you don't see a TV in the bedroom, but KZ went ahead and did it. What you will notice, see this extra thermostat in here? Again, 2 ACs, one of them is located in the bedroom. Again, they're both fully filtered and fully ducted, but you have that separate thermostat in this room, so if you are at a 50 amp spot and you want to utilize both of the ACs, you can do so. Now I'm going to have Rick open this door in front of me here, and I want to show you, if you ever thought you didn't have enough closet space, man, you do now. So you've got another hang rod here, but the cool thing is, for those of you who are going to use this for longer extended stays, you do have the hookups for a combo washer dryer. Again, McLean's can install that for you. If you want more details, just call me. We're going to put my number at the bottom of the screen. Last thing to talk about in the bedroom, though, is I love the awning style windows. And that's great because, like, so yes, you can use it as the emergency exit window, but the other nice thing is that when it's awning style, it means if it's raining and there's not a crazy cross breeze, the water will just roll down the window. But they don't just give you this one, they give it to you on both sides, right? So you can get an awesome cross breeze, tons of natural light, right? That is what I love the KZ does, that there's not really a good competitor who's understood how to do this the same way, at the same level, at the same price point as them. All right, so don't worry, you do still have that window shade as well if you do want to darken it when you're in here for that bed. And you do still have, if I can reach it up here, the blackout shades for both sides of the bedroom. Like I said, 2 people, tons of storage, or if your grandparents want to bring the kids, if you want a closet, a dog, a friend, all of the storage and space and all the benefits of a bunkhouse model without sacrificing. You don't have to sacrifice. You can win, and you can get it at a great price. If you come in, buy this KZ. It's the 312 BRK Connect. I'm Bear, just like a teddy bear, over at McLean's RV. Numbers at the bottom of the screen. If you want the great pricing, if you want the great deal, and want to know if we've got them in inventory, you need to call us today. This could be yours. We've got a fast turnaround period where we do a full inspection and teach you how the RV works before you hit the road. You couldn't get a better experience, and the only thing we're waiting for is for you to call that phone number below. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name's Bear. We'll see you soon.